Hello, gorgeous beauties. Welcome to Iconic Edge, the call where we're diving into brand forward content and messaging. Brand forward content and messaging. So today we are playing off of everything that we did yesterday. Last week. We have quite a few slides to go through. So halfway through, I'm going to just give us a little break and just like tap in our body and shake it out a little bit because I am going to be sharing a bit of education to start, and we'll be diving into some content ideas, and I'll be prompting you with certain things too so that you guys can start creating for yourself too. Towards the end, I have 5 full-on content prompts for you to dive into. And what I would suggest is throughout the course of this call, have a notepad and take notes because I guarantee you're going to be having so many drops as we go through the call. And today's going to be about 75 minutes long. If you have to go early, totally understand, but I would love to have you here the whole time. And if you can please have your cameras on, Maylene would love to see you. If not, we understand that too. And we will dive right in. How are you guys feeling today? Tap it into the chat. I've always loved to get dressed up. Amazing. Amazing. I know that you guys have been talking about diving into your archetype practices and embodiments. Like it's been that's the work. So today we'll dive into strategy and messaging. So to get started, welcome to your brand era. Last week, actually, one moment. Okay. Last week was all about the internal shifts. We dove into your own brand audit, which I would suggest you guys diving into this after every identity shift. That's the work for you guys to do. This is how you don't need a mentor all the time. And you get to do this yourself too. Right, to do it yourself. We dived into the identity and values. We played into the archetypes. This way you actually know what wants to come forth in your brand. I love how, Maylene, you said on here that you're finding the new shadows, the different things that are coming up and coming out. That's the work, because that's where we're going to see what energy and expression wants to come forth in your brand, because that's where the answers are. I don't have the answers for you. I can tell you that I fully believe that if you're here this far with me, learning this from me, chances are you may want to lean into more video content, more walking up to camera kind of reels, tapping into this edgy energy, a lot of talking to camera, more video content, maybe some of the edge, sexy music, because I firmly believe that we're attracted and we're magnetized to something that is either activating us and we have it in our brand already and you want to amplify it a bit, or it's slightly activating. I don't like saying the word triggering, but like activating potentially a shadow where it's like, fuck, I am not supposed to like that, but I want that. I'm not supposed to, but I want that. That's that unhealed shadow part. That's what I believe. We clarified values and tapped into your brand energy. And very important, we went over the different contents of expression content versus education and importance of both. Oops. This is your brand era, and you do not build a legacy off of a launch. You build it off of identity, and that's what we're refining today. Brand content is rooted in identity, creativity, and presence. So before we even dive into the specific content examples, I want to very clearly point out the difference between offer content and brand content. Because offer content, they're both needed. It's not either or, by the way. It's not either or, and it's not that they're always completely separate pieces of content. They can be one. Very often they are one. However, I do want to point out that you need both. Both. So offer content, this is the content that sells a specific program, which is majority what we're all used to. It's what we're safe in because there's an actual tangible output. You're actively selling a thing, an offer, a skill set. And it's the strategic content and it's focused on conversion through messaging. Whereas brand content, this is what builds your legacy, your bigger body of work. This is beyond the offer, beyond the skill set. You're speaking to the vision, the mission, and the identity. Offer content will tap into the conversions into a specific offer, whereas brand content builds a legacy for your bigger body of work. Overall, offer content is what the offer is, what it delivers, for who and why they need it today, right now. Whereas brand, this positions you as the one before even you put an offer out. This is long-term content. This is people are in your world to stay because they feel expanded. They're not just learning from you, they're expanded in the identity from you. Offer content will highlight your method, your process, your expertise, client results. And brand content, this really focuses and communicates the identity, the values, your voice, your presence, and the why behind everything that you do. The first part of today, this is where we're tapping into the brand expression in your visual identity. This is what we all see. So the reflection right now is, if your dream client saw your profile today, right now, would they feel magnetized by your words? Excuse me, magnetized by you, by what they see before even reading your words? The three big questions here. You can take a picture of this if you'd like. When someone lands on your feed, what story is it telling before they read anything? As much as we are all out in the world and growing bigger in the in-person spaces, in-person events, do not forget that your feed, your brand, the visual brand on social media, this is where majority of people will first see you. A lot of people, more eyes. 1 million people can see you in the matter of moments. The second one here, does your actual life match your visual brand, your visual signature? Now I'm going to dive more into this as we get in. But just have a thought. Does your life match what you're projecting out into the world? And what needs to be cleaned up? And not from a place of shame, just from a place of integrity, vision, integrity, and for ease. Because when there's a big mismatch and the identity doesn't match, that's where there's hesitation to show up online. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't have a luxurious brand and not be a Chanel kind of brand and not be dripping in Chanel. It's not what that means, but we'll dive into that because you could have it all. You can be working towards something and also embodying that at the same time, but it's an identity game. First, we're going to start when it comes to the visual identity. I have 3 well-known leaders in the coaching bubble space. And what I want you to see here, now all 3 of these brands, they're known, recognized, and established brands. All of them are, all 3 of these. I have one here, Leanne Mosley. In the middle, it's XO Gingy, and over here, Shoshana Raven. What I want you to clearly notice is this one over here, the vibe and energy you get from Leanne's brand. I get luxe. I get sexy, luxe. Known, recognized, highly established, and successful. Darker tones, right? Now here, it's XO Gingy, it's bright, it's bubbly. More playful. To me, this is my perception of it. It's more playful. Me, I don't get luxe, I get playful, I get bubbly, I want to feel this. And Shoshana's over here, I'm not sure what to feel, but it works. They all work. None are wrong. Somebody will feel something from this. I feel very human. I feel openness. Now I want you to notice here, what are you actively drawn to? What do you like? And there's no wrong here. It's not in a way of judgment. It's the big takeaway here is it all works. Some people are over here worried about being too messy, or, I love having a beautiful feed. This brand here doesn't activate me at all. And that's not wrong. All of these 3 are highly successful brands. but you're going to gravitate to the one that you're attracted to the most. This chances are is the energy and feel that you either want or already have in your brand. I love that. Irene does it for me. None of those do. Again, say it in your head, say it out loud. It all works. The work here is for you to decide what is your energy and feel. Actually, I'm going to jump ahead to a few slides. Can I do that here? Because as I dive into my brand and what my brand screams, the vibe, I'm going to highlight this one here. My brand vibe, classy and chaotic. I love the curated, but I also love the very leaving the gym look too. Luxe and as and authentically curated. What do I mean for that? Okay. Luxe to me is the curated stuff, what you see in all these pictures here. The curated, I love that editorial, very, I don't stand like that and wear that on a daily basis, but I love that editorial look. What I mean by authentically curated, if you were to meet me or see me randomly out of nowhere, I will look the same. If you see me going to get gas and coming home, I will look the same. I'll probably have my, I don't know what I would wear. I don't just go to go put gas. But when I go run errands, and if you see me pumping gas while running errands, I will look on brand because that's the kind of woman that I am. So that's what I mean by authentically curated. My life, the kind of woman that I am, I'm always put together. And even my not put together, my gym clothes, my travel clothes, my pajamas, they're all elevated in a way that feels like me. My brand is Pearls and Sweats, juxtaposition. My brand is Chanel and Amazon. So when you come over here and look at these brands here, write yours down. What is your vibe? What's your brand energy and vibe? Because you can't just create out of nowhere. This is what's going to create that potent visual signature is when you spend the time to actually sit and think about this. You're probably going to resonate with a lot of my words. Maybe you won't, maybe you do, but write yours down. I see yours as Versace and the OG classy Playboy. We love that. So after seeing these and thinking about your brand, put in the chat box a couple of words that you probably already have them, but I think it's so important to see that it all works. And one or two words that you want to bring forth in your brand even more. Bea, I know yours like sexy. I think you do have a very visually solid identity in your brand. But is there something else you want to bring out or highlight? We'll say that way. On these same lines, I want to dive into here. Oops, 1 second. Is that you could have it all. We hear a lot, I've heard a lot, people refer to the Pinterest board marketing to where, now this is wanting to have a luxe, if your version of luxe is, let's say designer, the designer look and editorial feel, wanting to have that, but you don't live that kind of luxe lifestyle, or you're not dripping in that brand. You don't need to be dripping in that brand. You can still use Pinterest photos and things that you're aspiring, working towards that you love. As long as you have the internal identity, like it's a feeling. The problem comes in when you're making your home life wrong, when you're not accepting where you actually are right now, because then you're projecting out into the world, oh, I want to be this way, but I'm not. So when I go to pick up my camera and record, there's hesitation and it's felt. That hesitation is felt by people in your brand because you will ultimately hesitate in going online. Do your clothes, does your body language, your facial expressions, and your tone of voice actually match the woman, the potent woman that you are inside? Or do you shift and change when you're on camera? These are the energetic and identity pros because when it's very aligned and you believe in what you're selling, you believe in what you're doing, and you own the identity of the Chanel, the Lux, the designer, you own that, it's felt when you go on camera. There is no, and when there's an alignment in the put together, the aesthetic, if your life looks like you, like my closet, I don't know if you've ever seen me, I should take a picture of my closet, but my closet looks like my feed. And that's just my style. A few examples of what this looks like in my personal life. This is me in several different shots going to the airport. I naturally look on brand. I mean, those are my colors. I have some branded sweats, Lust for Life sweats that I had made. It's easy. This is that vibe I was telling you. If you see me on the street, I'm gonna look the same. I'll always have some sort of makeup on. It's just the kind of woman that I am. Going around life at the pool. These are not posed, by the way. They're natural selfies that I took. Blazer and sweats. Hello. This is a prime example of you get to create the brand that you want. I'm a walking embodiment of my brand. If you look at this photo here, it's actually I didn't realize how potent this was for my brand. Blazer, sweats, Lust for Life branded sweats, a blazer and sweats, big ass jug of water. I mean, happy, hot, rich as fuck. You guys all know that I talk about being fat. If I'm being really honest, I have a green drink right here, a water right here, a coffee right here, because it's my morning time right now, and those are all the things that I want. I'm an embodiment of what I teach and preach. We went over this one. So to briefly now to touch on as well, your signature video content aesthetic. When it comes to video content and what your backdrop is and what it looks like, it's beyond just your clothes. And there comes a point when you have to make a decision. You're either going to make the investment to make it look like you want it to look, or book a podcast studio and learn to batch, or accept what currently is right now. And I'm going to share my examples with you because there's been a shift. And where I record from right now, the backdrop is awful. I have a beautiful wall, beautiful home. These two here are in my home. Now, this is what the journey has looked like. So we'll do a little workshop here because it does take effort. Currently, I have spent, I would say almost 2K trying to figure out lighting that I love. I love things to look pretty. I fucking love things looking pretty. I spent 2K trying to figure out lighting in my house, and just the way my house is facing, I have to actually, this is the lesson here. I have to actually accept the lighting in my house. No matter how much I've spent hours. I've taken 2 courses on lighting for this specific thing. And unless I get a whole couple $1,000 thing, my house is so big that I don't want to say I've given up, but I've accepted that this here or it's an ugly backdrop outside of my backyard. I have a brown stucco house, but the lighting is great out there. So what I've decided is that my body, my clothes, my presence, my me is my signature look and feel for now until I commit to batching and doing this over here, this 2025 thing over here all the time. I don't want to right now, and that's okay. Now to come to workshop this a tiny bit here. My favorite look here is this one right here in the middle. I love this. However, what I don't like about it is that in order to get this pink lighting back here, now mind you, your house might be different. You might have maybe a smaller room where you can recreate this. But in order to get this moody lighting in the background, you need to be able to darken your house. And I have a huge, ginormous, like big light here in front, not your average ring light. It's a big light. However, when I did that, it was still just something wasn't right. So in my setting, I still wanted to have a filter on. I'm trying not to use filters, just that I just would rather not. No reason other than I don't want to, but I do it majority of the time because of the lighting. So if you want this backdrop look like with a cute little light in the background, it's a small little light that shoots up at the wall, darker in the room, and then a light on your face is going to illuminate you. This is how you recreate this look here. I love the idea of showing more of your body, sitting on the couch. That creates more trust with people. This is a very signature branded look. And a lot of times what people can do, and you can, if you have like a cute closet, if you do like get ready with me, if you're really good at that, you can multitask that way. People love those. I love watching those. Or if you're a cook and you can cook and cut things while you're talking, if you were, let's say, health and fitness or family is part of one of your values, maybe you want to start I don't want to say start a series, but normalize a signature look could be while you're cutting or cooking and you're talking about something, if that aligns with the kind of brand that you want to have. For me, I'm not much of a multitasker in certain things. and this, so I don't know if that would really work for me. Only you know what yours would be. Now, maybe it looks like when you are cooking or sitting in this, for me, it would be sitting in this one here. It would be, I'm going to talk about XYZ part of my work. So people know, start to get used to, oh, when that pops up, one, it's easy recognizable. And two, it's already set up. That's the biggest part for you. It saves time, energy, and just mental capacity when you have it all set up already wherever you're going to film. And alternatively, you can start to batch as well. I went through a phase where I loved batching, but fuck, we continued to evolve and shift so much that sometimes I found that I would batch and then I'd batch for, let's say, 2 weeks. And then I'm like, oh, I've shifted. I've identity shifted. But you still get to go back and elevate and repurpose that too. So the big takeaway here for the signature video aesthetic is to make it as easy as you can for yourself. There's no need to always be moving things around. Have the lighting there, have one spot, make it easier for yourself. Can you change things in the background where you have plants, pots, a little light in the back, just like I have here in this one? Maybe have your ring light or your big light, whatever that is, always set up, then you don't move it. Do you like showing more of your body? A few of you that are in this program here were in Iconic Video Presence, where we dove deep into style and a lot of little things to shift and change so that your presence, you actually feel really good as well, turning on the camera and recording there. So take a second for you to think, okay, like what is that going to look like for you? And let it evolve with you. This has been my visual journey. Started here. Same, it's the same white wall back there. And it's evolved. It will evolve with you. How many love this? I would love this to be the majority. This is an amazing. I've been playing with this studio here in Vegas, and you guys can do this at home too. Find a studio. The first time you go do this, it's gonna feel a little bit weird and awkward because you're probably gonna be recording in front of a stranger. Keep going, get comfortable doing that on camera, and go batch from there. Maybe you want to record your courses from there. There's always going to be somewhere to evolve your brand to. That's my personal next step right now. The next time I run this offer here, Iconic Edge, is going to be a staple thing that I run a few times a year. The next time I run this, it will be filmed in a studio. That way, for where my business is going, this will be an evergreen course. I love this live, but this will be evergreen, and I want it recorded in the studio. So for you, what does that next brand repositioning look like for you? All right. Okay, tapping into a quick check-in. This is the break piece. The next part is where we're diving into some messaging. But these first parts, this is all about visual. And this is coming into the message. How are we feeling thus far? I batched for my, let me see, Bea says in here, I batched for my vacation a ton of content and didn't use even 10% of it. Haha, why I normally change my mind about batch content. Yeah, it's a thing. Like there's no answer to that. It kind of depends. Like when you're shifting, you're gonna shift. As is your, excuse me, when you're human shifting, your business and messaging is going to shift. Then it comes down to a business decision. It's like, okay, Sure, I may have shifted from last week. Can I still share this to get something out for sake of checking the box for business? Now, I don't believe in just a check in the box business. However, at the end of the day, we are a business. Would it have felt aligned to still use it to show up on people's feeds? Let's have a little quick water break. Group chug, everybody. Mhm. A reminder that, yes, yes, cheers, cheers. Reminder that last week, all about the expression. This week is bringing that internal work express forward. Cheers. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bringing it forward. Now we're going to tap into content and messaging. At the end, I will have some very specific prompts for you guys to tap into. And on our last call, which is hot seat style, if there's something that came up around these posts, we can look at some of them together. That's what that last call will be for. It's a bonus call. Okay. Content and messaging for the brand. This is an important one here. This is probably one of the most important slides for your brand in what I would encourage all of you to share. And at the very bottom, repetition creates reputation. Repetition creates reputation. Repetition creates reputation. These three things up here are things that you want to be known for. If somebody else can't answer any of these for your brand, this is the work. This is what people say when you're not in the room. The first one. What are three values that you want felt through your feed and through your brand? And this isn't just I'll give you some examples for my brand. This is also sharing the why behind the things. Do you have a brand model, a saying? Like in part of my brand, I believe in working out. Working out for you probably already can repeat why I preach working out so much. Creativity, identity, shift in emotions, because these are things I actively say over and over and over. This has created happy, hot, rich as fuck, which is a big part of my brand. That hot part is about taking care of your body. I have zero desire in hiring or working with people that don't prioritize their movement, because I firmly believe that that's where your creativity comes from. That's where your drive and discipline and just juiciness comes from. And so importantly, that's how we process emotions. And you know this throughout my brand, Lust for Life. You probably know the story behind this model of Lust for Life as well. Why that came from a hating life, a hating myself. It's part of my brand story. When I tried to unalive myself one time, thanking God the next day it didn't work. And that's where Lust for Life was born. These are things that you want to be people to know about you and your brand. Next one, what are you here to normalize, redefine, or change? Now, these are the things to write down. The three values. What are three values that you want highlighted in your brand? Is it family, working out, travel, freedom? Freedom of what? Freedom of expression, freedom of femininity, family, motherhood, traveling while making sales, fitness. Like, what are some of these things that you value? Time freedom. And then what does time, let's use an example of time freedom. Okay, what does time freedom look like to you? Because it's going to look different to you than me. This will be your visual content. For example, for me, time freedom looks like, oh, today I have a massage later today. I have a massage later today. And what is today? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I have a massage in the afternoon. That feels like time freedom to me because I've created a life and a business that I get to do that. That's a value to me. I can either vocalize it or use it as B-roll or talk about it. And you probably know I get massages a lot because I share that a lot in my content. Why? Also, I think it's important to take care of the body, self-care. Like it's a huge part of my brand. So for you, if time freedom is one of your values, what does that look like in your life today? Does it look like um, staying present, staying present with your partner when you're traveling? Okay, how do you create that? I'm thinking about Bea on the call here today. Your sales system, your sales systems, your structure, whatever creates that time freedom, that's one of your values. You value that. You value being present. So then the question comes to, what does that look like in your life? In this one, what are you here to normalize, redefine, or change? These are the things that your brand stands for. Next one. What truth do you feel that not enough people are saying online? What is that truth to you? This could be your bold opinions. So take a second and write those down. Okay, we're going to be tapping into some examples. Who's excited for examples? I learned really well with examples. Yeah. Okay. The first. The bold statement, belief, opinions, and values. Here I have some examples. Now, part of this here, I want you to see that this is also going to pre-qualify people to being in your world. So when it's important to these bold things to talk about your values, we talked a little bit before about the things that you don't stand for as well. That's also equally as important part of your brand to share because you are going to pre-qualify people and tell them who you're for and who you're not for, what you stand for. I have some examples in here. So the first one, some of these are going to cross over. For example, this one here. I'm stating a business belief. And also in these examples, it's not just what I'm saying. I want you to see different ways to share them, like literally the tangible, like a picture of you and a statement. This one here, just the statement, big letters, that's it. And in the it doesn't have to be a carousel. It could be in the caption, you go to town just speaking your truth. So this one here, business. Ultimately, I teach business, and this I'm known for. I want to be known for the depth, shadow work, so things that come up. So I'm talking here about what I believe business maturity is. And because I speak to expression, I'm talking about maturity is knowing that it's human nature to care what people think. And in that post, I talked about how I absolutely care what people think about people that are my friends, my family, my clients, my mentors. I absolutely care what people think. It's human nature to. But the leadership thing is to post, say, create, do the thing anyway. Trusting my truth is more important than anything else. It's okay to care what people think. You just can't let it lead you, dictate your business. It can look like a bold statement here. And here's another picture one. Now, a lot of my content is video. I love video content. So I do have a couple of videos to share as well as we dive in. Right before I get there. On the next one here, I'm sharing a video. The video taps into, it's an identity. It shares beliefs. And on the cover, it's a bold statement where it looks like my brand. You'll see it. So you'll see the video itself and then the statement piece over it. Oh, oh, that was cool at the end. So this here, I deliberately pulled out different parts of my expression. This is clearly going to call forward a woman. It's going to activate something in somebody. It's going to activate a woman. You can feel presence and confidence in a woman who just owns and makes sense that I'm teaching, speaking to, teaching, embodying, sharing, screaming out loud about expression and presence because I'm felt in these videos. And in the caption, I went into who I stand for, what I believe. Some more examples here. Identity content. Again, with expression. So this one here, I'm stating, this is that look of stating bold opinion. It's a picture of me. And then just, I'm saying here what I believe about expression. It's actually good for this, what we're talking about here. I'm reading this one here. There isn't actually a single human mentor or leader that you work with that said you need to show up, post, or dress a certain way to make it online. You single-handedly created that yourself. The good news, you can burn that shit to the ground. One, I'm pre-qualifying people that I'm bold. Like I say words like shit in my content because I cuss on calls. I can't help it. It's who I am. That energy, that picture of me says a lot. In this next one here, this was a post that I made yesterday. Very stating how my work, I don't work with beginners. I don't teach beginners how to find their voice. I coach. And so this is now taking me out of teacher mode. I'm positioning myself as coach and leader. I'm saying clearly who I'm for. I'm not for the one that's still trying to get confidence to find their first client or to get confidence to they never talk on camera, for example. Like it's not about finding the void. There is a refinement. All of you guys on here and everybody in here, I still am refining the way that I'm showing up on camera too. But I'm clearly stating I'm not a teacher. I coach and mentor leaders dying to fully express themselves and take up space, all the damn space with it in their brand, online, on stage, in brand shoots. So I'm making it very clear that I'm not just content and messaging. I speak a lot to finding your voice on camera, but I'm not just that. I'm very clear about that. So for you, what's your I don't and I do statement? I don't teach, I don't say, I don't work with. Like, what is yours? Think about that for a moment. Another example and another way to deliver this is this one here I have for Iconic Queen. This is a name of one of my programs, but it's also part of my brand. In this carousel, this is a carousel. It's very clearly stated. She's a type of leader who sees success and power in a peer, mentor, or stranger in a bathroom at a business conference and feels connected to her, not threatened, not less than, but power meets power. I'm clearly speaking to an entrepreneur who goes to business conferences and travels, who identifies as a leader, who doesn't have like jealousy or envy or unhealthy comparison. She doesn't lead with that. There's no pedestaling because she leads with power meets power. Now, the invitation here is what's yours? You really want to tap into the identity of who you're calling in. This is going to call in women like you, women that are here for the big vision and taking work. Like what does it take to have success in your field of what you preach and teach and embody and share? One last example here, this last one over to the right. I'm speaking about what I believe in presence. So for you, in what you share in your brand, what do you believe? And is it clearly stated throughout your brand? And on the next slide, I'm going to share a video because again, I'm going to share a few videos. I do this a lot through video. And chances are you'll recognize all of these videos because I share them a lot, again, Repetition creates reputation. Here's one that I love to post. So this one here, there's this identity, the video, how she's walking people in public. And in this caption, I talked about, like I've claimed the word dangerous woman for one of my archetypes for clients and women coming into my world. And I invite other women, what's your version of dangerous woman? Do you have a song for your people? Is dangerous woman resonate with you? Make it your own. In this specific post, I talked about my definition of what a dangerous woman is. Two more video examples where I'm sharing different parts of my expression. I feel like yeah. Possibly sitting on the track now. Cause I'm a rider. This is one of my favorite ones, paired with a song that I actually love. I'm laughing, I'm talking, I'm flipping my hair. Like this is all part of my brand. If you notice, these are things that I've showed you and we did an archetype play. See that, the resonance? So now we want that with you too. The things that you're doing in everyday life to bring it into your brand and your expression. The very last one is my actual brand, my actual brand vision. So the other day, God whispered in my ear. I heard him loud and clear. He said, Irene, your job, your mission, shall you accept, is to sexify the coaching industry. You should see me in a silence is my favorite style. This one here, now this was one of my favorite, this is my favorite video ever. You know, the song is me. I play that song everywhere throughout my brand. Repetition creates reputation. It's safe to say that people in my world, when they hear that song, they will think of me. I like to believe so because I use it so much for offers. I use it in my stories and my reels over and over and over. Repetition creates reputation. There's a through line in everything that I teach and preach and that I do. Before I move on to the prompts, we moved through this a lot quicker than I thought. Amazing. It's just so perfect. Because next I'm going to be diving into some 5 very specific things to think about and to make sure that's highlighted in your brand. So before we dive into those there, take a second to reflect on those videos and the content and all of those examples and think about, okay, what's missing from your brand? How have you been sharing the values, the standards, and resetting what your brand stands for, which you will do over and over and over again. Currently, at the day and time of filming this, September 30th, I am in process of repositioning my brand. So if you're following along, I will be posting a lot more content right now that we're speaking of in here. Identity, values, beliefs, standards, things that have changed in what I used to say. I have a post halfway written right now that says, I used to say X, but I was wrong. Here's what I believe now. Literally, that's the hook. That's the post. So before we tap into those, take a quick reflection, take a moment and think about what ideas came up, what's missing, and answer the questions that I'm going to pull this back up real quick. These here. What are 3 of your values? What are you here to normalize, redefine, or change? And the last one, what truth do you feel that not enough people are saying? So I'm going to give you a moment with that. Like really think about yours. You want to put any in the chat? Drop them in the chat. And then for those of you that have the upgrade to the mastermind, the 2-week mastermind, these are, I would highly suggest, whether you're here live or watching the replay, highly suggest diving into these pieces of content so that in the mastermind, the upgrade, we can dive into these together. And if you want to upgrade, you still can. We start next week. Next week, and I separated a little bit so you can start later if you so choose. Message me privately if you do want to upgrade. So I have 5 for you. You can look at these like prompts, and they're based off of everything we just talked about. 1, for your visual brand. I'm going to give you a creative idea as well. This could look like a single photo that feels like your truest energetic and visual signature. So in that, now tap into the examples, let's say these here. In the photos, how you can feel something, like you look at me, you're like, oh yeah, the screaming, the grounded presence. So for you, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Are you standing? Are you in a certain pose? Are you inside, outside? A static photo. This could be one of the, I mean, my creativity, my brain, and my brand brain goes to the bold post, the bold statements, stating your value in big letters with just a picture of you, and then speaking about it in the caption. The second one, new and refined truth. What's something that you used to believe and now have evolved the vision, expanded the truth, or completely changed your mind about? This is the one I alluded to just a second ago. It could be straightforward. It doesn't need to be fancy. It shouldn't be fancy, just straightforward. I used to believe this. Now I believe this. Here's why you should embody this too. Mine straight up says I was wrong. I may as well tell you guys. You're like, what the fuck was she wrong about? Because you're hearing this. I something I've always said is that in regards to going viral, right? People like want to go viral on the internet, want to go viral for the algorithm. And I always say it's not about going viral in on the for the algorithm. Like you want to go viral in people's hearts. Like that's where you're remembered. That's where the viral energy wants to go, right? Not the algorithm. Of course, I want you to have the sale, blah, blah, blah. The sales, yes, but that's what I used to say all the time. And literally it was after just this weekend. Also, at the time of filming this, I've just spoken on stage. I gave my first keynote speech, and a lot has shifted. So this is also coming off of that weekend as well. And maybe this is where that came from. But now I actually believe, and I was just missing it. It's just a very minute statement, but it's not about going viral in other people's hearts. It's about going viral in your own fucking heart. That's where it starts. Like, where was I thinking? How did I miss that? It's such a small thing, but that's a very Irene thing. That's what I believe. You're not going to go viral in anybody else's fucking heart if you're not viral in your own heart. And where this came from, it's because why was I looking at this reel? I was speaking about archetype play just recently, and I was like realizing how if you listen to the voice drop in the chat, Telegram, how I wasn't very nervous. And why wasn't I? It was because everything that I've done leading up to stage, I've done it already in reels. Like I have this reel where I'm crossing the street, I'm wearing a fucking towel, and there's a lot of people around. I take off the towel and I'm wearing a big old dress, and I'm like crossing the street looking all and confident and shit. I'm like, the work that I did to be that woman is the work that's the visibility work that made going on stage so fucking easy and second nature. You guys, I walked around that room, talked to the crowd, engaged with the crowd. I took up more space than any of the other speakers, not in a comparison way, but I was obviously very comfortable. I walked up and down the aisle, and it bugged me for a while. I'm like, why was it so easy for me? Archetype play is why I've done that work. And when I was thinking about that one reel with the hair, and I was talking to somebody in one of my masterminds who she was talking about, asking me my opinion about wanting to break up the pattern on her feed and go viral. Like actually word for a 7-figure leader was wanting to break up her feed and go create virality content. She was like, I don't know if the algorithm's going to like this, but I want to create that. And I was thinking about my towel reel, and I was like, I didn't care if anybody liked it. I wanted to do it. That was for me. It wasn't for other people. And that's what prompted that thought. Oh, it's never been about going viral in other people's hearts. It's about going viral in my own heart first. All my content and videos like that. So, what's a new refined truth that you have? Doesn't have to be completely shifted. It's more like evolved, just like mine was. Okay, next two. Next one, the third prompt, a post or video reel for visual power. This is a reel where your body, your voice, and your presence speaks louder than any text on screen. This is something like the walking. Like that doesn't really need much words. It's visual. So what is yours? What's your song? What's your energy? What are you wearing again? Can you go create this? Where is it? Is it outside? Bea, I know you have a few of these. Is there a next level of this? Next one, your embodied values. Show us one of your core brand values, not by naming it, but by embodying it in the moment. For me, this is what we talked about with the time freedom. What does that look like for you? Do you want/can you create content around that? Time freedom. Think about that. From your listed values that we talked about, the 3 brand values, how can you bring that forward in a video, in a reel? Can you recreate or film yourself doing the thing that's time value? Excuse me, that's time freedom. Take a second and write down anything if something's coming up that you already have an idea for. And the last prompt, who you are and are not for. Again, with the pre-qualifying people into your world. This can be a carousel. It can be a side-by-side, hire me if, don't hire me if. So here's a couple thoughts to get you started. Hire me if. I'm the mentor for you if. And these are different ways that I've done this over the course of time, a few different ways. That's very Irene energy. Would I drop cash on a mentor on? Would I drop cash on a mentor for? That's a typo. Now in that post, I went into, because I dropped cash on mentor, for example, somebody who can keep relationships, not only when they're paying you, but can maintain relationships. That's important to me. A mentor that takes care of her body and she's loud about it. She shares it. I like knowing that my mentors work out and take care of their body. It's a big value of mine. And at the end of that, you close it with, P.S. I am this type of mentor. So these are the 5 prompts that I highly suggest tapping into for brand content. And this wraps us up with all of our slides today. We had Maylene that left. How are we feeling? Hello, Simone. I saw you come in midway through, but you did come in good time for prompts.